Well, good morning, Facebook. A little technical snafu there. Take two. Good morning, Facebook land. This is Mike George coming at you live from the Franklin County Courthouse here in downtown Columbus. I don't know if it's just like, shoot, I don't know if it's just like the angle of the sun or the weed I'm on right now or what is going on, but my goodness, it is gorgeous outside. Um, I don't. Yeah, shoot. I don't know whatever it is. It feels very especially bright tonight. This morning, and the flowers. My goodness, the flowers are like in full bloom. I feel like Columbus really pulled out all of its stops here for all the shenanigans going on this weekend. Like look at this, guys. Like this is non-filtered and all. These flowers are just absolutely gorgeous. And yeah, this is kind of one of my favorite, or I guess one of my first favorite buildings of Columbus, the Franklin County Courthouse, which unusual for most like county courthouses. It's gigantic. Um, in fact, this isn't even like the main building. This is the sort of the lower building. The main building is kind of set behind it a bit. It's at least 30 stories, I think. Anyways, I kind of I had to make a couple little trips to the courthouse recently, but it also kind of while I was sort of doing my doing my errands here and such, it kind of brought me back to 2000. Shoot, I think the year 2002 or 2003, which was my very first time in Columbus, Ohio, and that was my junior year of high school, I believe. I think junior year, and my very first time to Columbus was right here, as a matter of fact, at the Franklin County Courthouse. And the purpose of the trip was to compete in the state competition of the high school mock trial competition that I was involved in. Um, pretty much, I think, pretty much all 4 years I was at Big Red, actually. I would think of it. Yeah, and so my junior year and senior year, I had the honor of serving, sort of representing Steubenville High School as an attorney, as counsel for I'm trying to remember now. I always wanted to play a prosecutor, like in the mock trial sort of sequence, just to kind of have that, just to be able to kind of brandish that kind of typical aggressive sort of crime fighting prosecutor wand. Um, so I think I got to do that once, and then I think the other year I was the defendant attorney. I don't remember quite what the cases were. Actually, one of the years, the case was I didn't. The mock trial case was like a weird one. It might have been my senior year, where it was like a Civil War case, and so all the case law and shit that I had to study up for that, and all the the precedents and such were kind of during that vintage, pretty much up into that vintage, the 1800s and such. But then again, what is precedent? Fuck precedent. Our Supreme Court seems to give two shits about about what's the old concept of precedent. Always a Latin term for it, pretty much meaning let it rest or let it stay. What the hell is something stasis? Unum stasis pretty much means let stand. God damn, that's gonna bother the fuck out of me. What is that Latin phrase? It's basically to let the existing sort of protocol or convention hold. State stars. It's on the top. It is on the tip of my tongue. I keep thinking of e pluribus unum, which is not at all the Latin saying I'm trying to. That actually means out of many one, which actually is kind of a befitting line given all my gripes these days about sort of how I guess today's culture and sort of social media and everything had a lot of the forces of today's day and age have been kind of serving to sort of push us all apart from each other, as opposed to kind of you know as in contrast with our sort of abilities to rally around the flag like we used to be able to do, say, at the end of after 9/11 occurred. So, anyways, digressing from that a bit, this spot is it's kind of fascinating to kind of sit at this spot and kind of ponder as to what this exact spot look like. What these views would be. That I'm showing you through my phone right now. What this would look like back in 2003, and building a sort of a long time relic of the area. Relatively speaking, it's definitely, but it was definitely here back in 2003. Maybe even the government center over there. I'm not that. That's a toss up. I'm not. That might have been added on more recently. That Westin Hotel down there is actually where I stayed at to compete here in the Franklin County Courthouse for that mock trial competition. And as you can, that Westin Hotel down there is part of the Southern Theater complex, or the Southern Palace. I forget what it's called. Southern Theater. Southern Theater's inside that overall building. But anyways, that's still there. And shoot, as you can see behind it, there's like that one of these ugly IKEA buildings that have popped up in the last like sort of 6 to 8 years behind it. Columbus is sort of a great city to kind of marvel at sort of the the evolutionary stages of it, kind of almost block by block sometimes. Um, Standing here at the Franklin County courtroom, this was here. The Westin was there. The big thing that's sort of missing from now that was here then was the Columbus City Center Mall. And shoot, that occupied essentially, I think everything behind the Westin, at least as far as High Street's concerned. Between the Westin and that Fifth Third building, you can kind of see rising in the background there, that khaki colored skinny thing with the Fifth Third logo at the top of it over yonder. But yeah, this is so like I'm fascinated. As I sort of walk around Columbus and kind of get a really kind of the intimacy of really knowing these streets here, in the downtown, especially. Like, I have to say, like, one of the things I always sort of pondered, and it's sort of a project that I've always wanted to work on. I guess in the medium term future, kind of within the portfolio of other kind of random hodgepodgey mobile phone apps that I've developed in the last few months. I think right now we're totaling around 3 apps that yours truly has authored. Uh, Very simple apps. One of them was kind of a smoke log, so that I could push a button every time I grabbed a cigarette or smoked my bowl, just to kind of keep a counter on how many times I was indulging in those not quite healthy habits. So just kind of keep. So the app was that app was very simple. I mean, just a little. You push a green button to register that you had smoked weed. It registers the time, date, and location of that smoke. In fact, I implore you guys to check it out. One person watching right now. Um, the well, Going through the rabbit hole of my website, I think the link down there right now is referencing a replica of Steubenville, Ohio, my hometown, kind of along this theme of places transcending time. Um, one of my favorite video games growing up was The Legend of Zelda. That whole franchise. Anybody who knows me knows that particular video game series specifically holds a very special place in my heart. Um, just kind of as milestones to my upbringing, as well as milestones to my sort of video game nerdom and such. Anyways, inspired by the link to sort of the game Link to the Past, and actually there's a couple other Zelda titles which kind of play on the idea of a singular spot, of multiple versions of a singular spot. Um, and the versions being determined by just simply points in time. So looking at, say, maybe your childhood house, the home that you grew up in, especially if you moved away, uh, before graduating and such. But looking at how that house, like say if you just put a still camera in front of it, and somehow had a time lapse, camera shot of that house standing there, that position, um, fast forwarded over say 20 years, what would that look like? I mean, it's kind of interesting to kind of look around Columbus and see some of the areas that have managed to stay intact for the last 10 years, maybe 15, 20 years, and then some of that have kind of undergone radical change, and sort of how the city has managed to kind of, I guess, kind of weave those old and new parts, of this sort of, I guess, heterogeneously evolving city together in some logical fashion. Anyways, I need to gather my things here. I am on my way from here to the Colgère. So I figure, let's take you all with me, Facebook Live, on this marvelous morning. I didn't even do my usual thing where I recite the date of the date and the time of the beginning of the broadcast like I usually do. So I guess I should do that now. Coming at you live this morning from Columbus, Ohio, on this beautiful Saturday morning, the 20th of July, 2024, at 8:36 a.m. Eastern Standard. Eastern Daylight Time. No, this is Mike George. There we go. There's now we can officially call this a broadcast. Now that we've done all the proper, I guess, rituals of it. Traditions. Rituals sounds a little bit too gravitas, too much gravitas, too hyped up. I haven't dared taking a gander at the comments to see what 0 comments have appeared. Oh, yep, big surprise. Nobody wanted to comment. All right. Well, I gotta have to zoom back here and invite you guys into the conversation. Lord knows I get tired of having to carry all the weight of this conversation sometimes. Whoop. Oh yeah, one noticeable absence here. I'm surprised nobody's picked up on yet. Is I don't have Wanda anymore. I actually sold Wanda off, believe it or not, for $40 in cash. Literally, some dude came up to me like at 4 in the morning with $40 of cash in his hand and was like, "I want this." And really, I should have gotten 60, but shoot, Wanda was in pretty lousy shape anyways, so I'll just be happy that I made it out of there with $40 instead of $0 and a broken Wanda. Or a stolen Wanda, which has pretty much been the fate of every previous incarnation of her. Uh, so this is my first one that I managed to hold on to and sell. Have a Wanda retirement party. Shoot. And why not in peak summer, huh? And when all the kids are at camp and grandma can rest and drink with all her chums. Anyways, on that note, well, shoot, no, not on that note. I'm keeping this thing rolling. All right, so we do indeed make sure I have everything. Lord knows, I'm not always the greatest at keeping one eye on my shit and one eye on you guys at the same time. So, there's that. What we got on here? I know it's only 8:30 and Mama hasn't had her coffee yet. Talk. Mama, don't judge if you're on the toilet. You can still comment when you're in the toilet. In fact, like sometimes some of the most interesting and insightful comments are those that come from the John and make it onto Facebook. So come on, guys. There is no floor to this bar. Don't act like you're too high for the comment section or mighty or stoned. Anyways, I guess in the meantime, just kind of going on our merry day. I do miss having Wanda to like have a theme song follow me along these types of walks. Gosh, God damn, this would be kind of nice to have Good Morning Baltimore going on. But then again, I played the fuck out of that song every goddamn morning at 8:30 a.m. So sometimes I remind myself, silence is its own song. And on that note, I offer you, until we get to the Kroger, a little bit of silence. Oh, look at this goddamn thing. That is the ugliest fucking flyover. Why did we need another flyover around Columbus? I swear to God, that thing is that that flyover ramp just killed me. I'm sorry, I had to kill the silence for that because that is clearly breaching the skyline in much the same regard. So I don't feel that guilty about it. Ugh, what an eyesore. At least maybe they'll put some fancy like expensive marble or limestone like glaze on it just to make it look bougie as a fucking highway ramp like they do in New Albany and Westerville and Dublin. Yeah, essentially the outer rings, the 270 suburbs. Oh, this is really pretty. I don't spend enough time walking through this area. Ah, okay, so I lied. No more silence. I can't resist. I have to talk. I have to rant. So it keeps me sane. Especially since nobody wants to give me some company in the comments below. But, I guess that's because daddy's up early. tending to the tending to the herd of zero viewers at the moment. When your room looks kinda weird and you wish that you weren't there, just close your eyes and make believe, and you can be anywhere. I like adventure, I like romance. Do 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 do. My bad, my bad, my baby's baby. Okay, that was the Muppet Babies theme. Just really badly performed. But, done in the style of a casual, casual jazzy walk. A brisk one, nonetheless. But, I need to take a bunch of, like, point of view footage like this, I think, and record just reels of it, and then speed it up to make it look like I'm driving through sidewalks. I know that's kind of fun. And then lo and behold, it's the Kroger. So I think I'll spare you guys the mundanity of me maneuvering through the parking lot and use that as an opportunity to focus on not getting hit by these damn cars. So, on that note, Facebook, happy Saturday morning on this lovely 20th of July, 2024. Uh, yeah, enjoy. I mean, I remind myself that it is 2024 and the earth still allows us days like this in parts of the world. Gosh darn it, we are lucky. And on that note, make sure to get outside and enjoy the sunshine. And if you can't, then make sure to, I guess, play a good video game that pretending that you're enjoying the sunshine. Until we meet next time, toodaloo, take care of yourselves and take care of somebody else.